Hey Midnights! We hope you enjoy our stories. Next one, Enduring Malevolence, exploring history's most feared evil spirits. Don't forget to subscribe. From the dawn of human consciousness, as societies sought to understand the inexplicable and grapple with the inherent darkness of existence, tales of evil spirits emerged. These entities, far from mere campfire frights, were often deeply intertwined with cultural beliefs, moral codes, and the very fabric of the cosmos as perceived by our ancestors. Across diverse civilizations, certain malevolent beings consistently represented the most profound fears and the most destructive forces known to humankind. While evidence for the existence of evil spirits in a scientific, empirical sense is not available, their widespread and enduring presence in human history is undeniable. The true evidence lies in the archaeological, textual, and cultural records that demonstrate profound and persistent belief in these entities, and the significant impact these beliefs had on human behavior, societal structures, and artistic expression. One of the most universally recognized figures of pure malevolence is Satan, or Lucifer, primarily within Abrahamic traditions. His renown is deeply rooted in the foundational texts of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Initially conceived in early Old Testament texts as a Satan, meaning adversary or accuser, a celestial being who tested humanity under God's prerogative, his character underwent a profound transformation. Post-exilic Judaism and early Christian theology, particularly influenced by Persian dualism, elevated him from a divine agent to an independent, malevolent entity. The Book of Isaiah, 14:12, with its vivid depiction of a morning star falling from heaven, was later interpreted as Lucifer's rebellion, a narrative that cemented his identity as a fallen angel. Revelation 12 solidified his cosmic status as that ancient serpent, who is the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world, a primordial force of rebellion against the divine order. This narrative of a powerful angel who, out of boundless pride and an insatiable desire for God's authority, rebelled against the divine and was cast from heaven, forms the bedrock of his enduring infamy. Satan's power lies not just in overt acts of destruction, but in the insidious whispers that sow discord, incite rebellion, and lead humanity away from divine grace. He is depicted often with horns, cloven hooves, and a fiery demeanor, representations that incorporated elements of pre-Christian pagan deities, effectively demonizing them and associating them with evil. Satan's historical impact is immense, influencing art, literature, and moral theology for millennia. His methods were varied and cunning, tempting even the Garden of Eden with the promise of forbidden knowledge, leading Judas to betray Christ, possessing individuals with spiritual and physical torments, and inspiring heresies that challenged theological orthodoxy. His most terrifying aspect was his perceived ability to corrupt the very soul, offering worldly power, fleeting pleasures, or false promises of liberation in exchange for eternal damnation. The concept of eternal hellfire, a place of unimaginable torment ruled by Satan and his legions, became a powerful deterrent against sin and a vivid manifestation of the ultimate consequence of succumbing to his allure. His influence is seen in countless witch trials, where individuals were accused of making pacts with the devil, in elaborate exorcism rituals designed to cast out demonic possession, and in theological debates concerning the origin of evil and the nature of free will. These historical phenomena solidify his role as the absolute embodiment of malevolence in Western thought, a constant adversary to humanity's spiritual well-being. Biblical texts, for example, Isaiah 14, Revelation 12, apocryphal and pseudepigraphal works like the Book of Enoch, and Talmudic literature provide substantial textual evidence of his evolving image and perceived power, detailing his transformation from a divine accuser to a full-fledged cosmic adversary. Early Christian art, such as medieval illuminated manuscripts depicting the fall of Lucifer, historical accounts of exorcism rituals from antiquity to the early modern period, and the widespread witch hunts of early modern Europe, for example, the Salem witch trials, offer archaeological and historical context for the profound and often violent belief in his malevolence, showcasing how deeply this figure impacted societal fears and punitive measures. Transitioning from the cosmic struggle of Satan, ancient Mesopotamian mythology introduces us to Lamashtu, a terrifying demoness particularly feared by pregnant women and infants. Her fame arose directly from the incredibly specific and deeply terrifying nature of her malevolence within ancient Mesopotamian societies, where infant mortality rates were tragically high and the continuation of family lines was paramount. Her origins are found in Sumerian and Akkadian incantations, prayers, and religious texts, where she is one of several demonic entities associated with various forms of human suffering. Her horrific appearance, often described as a composite of various fearsome animals, emphasized her unnatural and monstrous nature, a lioness's head symbolizing primal ferocity, a donkey's teeth for their grinding destruction, bird-like talons for snatching, and a hairy body for its wild, untamed essence. She was believed to cause miscarriages, stillbirths, and infant deaths, not merely through disease but by actively suckling their blood and gnawing on their bones. She was said to enter homes through open doors and windows, creeping silently into birthing chambers to snatch newborns from their mother's arms, or to cause the pregnant mother to miscarry, often in excruciating pain. Beyond direct infant mortality, she was also associated with fever, nightmares, and other ailments affecting women and children, making her a comprehensive threat to the most vulnerable members of society. Unlike many demons who could be appeased through offerings or rituals, Lamashtu was often considered beyond direct human control, answering to no divine hierarchy, which made her even more terrifying. Her widespread fear led to desperate and highly specialized measures to ward her off. The use of amulets depicting Pazuzu, a rival demon whose immense ugliness and specific power against malevolent winds were thought to scare her away, was a common practice. These were not mere symbolic rituals, they were perceived as life-or-death struggles against an invisible, insatiable predator, highlighting the profound anxieties surrounding childbirth and infant survival in ancient times. Her fame, therefore, stems from her direct, visceral threat to the continuation of the family line and the survival of the most cherished and vulnerable members of society. Archaeological evidence, such as numerous clay or stone amulets and figurines of Lamashtu found at Mesopotamian sites, often in contexts related to childbirth or domestic protection, provides tangible proof of widespread belief. For example, the discovery of specific Lamashtu amulets featuring her iconic imagery in domestic settings underscores their protective function. Furthermore, cuneiform tablets containing elaborate incantations and prayers explicitly invoking Lamashtu or seeking protection from her malevolence, such as the Lamashtu incantation series, offer crucial textual evidence of the fear she inspired and the desperate attempts to thwart her influence on daily life. Moving across the globe to the ancient Persian world, Ahriman, Angra Mainyu, emerges as the destructive spirit in Zoroastrianism, a dualistic religion. He is the absolute antithesis of all that is good, light, and creative, Ahura Mazda. His fame and recognition are intrinsically linked to the philosophical underpinnings of Zoroastrianism itself, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, which profoundly influenced later Abrahamic faiths by introducing concepts of cosmic struggle between good and evil, and a final judgment. Ahriman embodies a philosophical, almost metaphysical, evil that is fundamentally opposed to creation itself. He is not merely a wicked being, but the very principle of non-being, chaos, and destruction. In the Zoroastrian worldview, Ahura Mazda, the benevolent creator, brings light, order, and life into existence through spontaneous generation. Ahriman, in turn, unleashes darkness, disorder, and death through his own malevolent creations. Every blight upon the earth, every disease that afflicts humanity, every natural disaster like drought or famine, every wicked thought, word, or act, is attributed to his insidious influence. He meticulously created venomous creatures, snakes, scorpions, flies, and other pests, as direct antitheses to Ahura Mazda's beneficial creations, actively seeking to corrupt and destroy the perfect world that had been brought forth. His ultimate goal is the utter annihilation of existence, a return to the primordial void from which all things emerged, effectively undoing creation. This stark dualism provided a clear, comprehensive framework for understanding suffering and evil in the world, with humanity caught in the cosmic battle between these two opposing forces. Individuals are called to actively choose the path of Asha, truth, righteousness, order, through good thoughts, words, and deeds, and fight against druge, falsehood, chaos, disorder, thereby aiding Ahura Mazda in the ultimate triumph over Ahriman. His lack of a concrete physical form underscores his nature as a pervasive, fundamental force of anti-creation, rather than a singular entity that can be trapped or defeated in a conventional sense. This abstract nature makes him perhaps the most chilling, as he is an ever-present, pervasive force rather than a localized threat. His fame, therefore, is not tied to a single dramatic act but to his omnipresent role in the cosmic struggle, making him a household concept within the Zoroastrian world and a recognized entity in the broader history of religious thought. The Avesta, the sacred texts of Zoroastrianism, particularly the goddess hymns attributed to the prophet Zarathustra, clearly outline the dualistic struggle between Angra Mainyu and Setsubun Mainyu, the benevolent spirit of Ahura Mazda, while later Pahlavi texts such as the Bundahishan further elaborate on Ahriman's specific creations and his role in cosmic history. Classical accounts from Greek and Roman historians like Herodotus and Plutarch also describe this Persian dualism, showcasing its recognition beyond Zoroastrian communities, and the emphasis on good thoughts, words, and deeds in Zoroastrian practice serves as compelling cultural evidence of belief in Ahriman's pervasive influence and the daily struggle against his forces. In Japanese folklore, the Oni are fearsome ogres or demons, typically depicted with vibrant red or blue skin, sharp claws, wild, disheveled hair, and two long horns protruding from their heads. The Oni's widespread fame in Japan stems from their pervasive presence across various strata of Japanese culture, from ancient myths and religious beliefs to popular modern media, making them instantly recognizable figures of dread. Their origins are multifaceted, drawing from ancient animistic beliefs about malevolent spirits of nature that could cause harm, influences from Chinese and Buddhist demonology, particularly the concept of Rakshasa, and indigenous Japanese beliefs in terrifying giants, Kiho and yōkai. Their most common physical traits, towering stature, incredibly strong muscles, two or more sharp horns, fanged mouths, and often red, blue, green, or black skin, make them instantly recognizable and terrifying. They are typically armed with a fearsome iron club called a kanabō, which they wield with devastating force, crushing everything in their path. Oni are depicted as bringing natural disasters like earthquakes and typhoons, but also as human-eating monsters, tormenting the wicked in Buddhist hells, Jigoku, or lurking in desolate mountains and isolated areas, preying on travelers. While some Oni can be tamed or even act as guardians, the overwhelming historical perception paints them as malevolent beings that bring disaster, plague, and torment. Their intelligence varies, some are portrayed as brute, mindless destroyers, while others are cunning and deceitful tricksters. The pervasive belief in Oni led to specific rituals like Setsubun, the bean-throwing festival, where people throw roasted soybeans to symbolically drive them away, chanting Oni wa Soto. Fuku wa uchi. Oni out. Fortune in. This active engagement with their presence in daily life underscores the very real fear they instilled in communities. They represent the consequences of unbridled rage, cruelty, gluttony, and other human vices, serving as a powerful moral deterrent in Japanese society. Their enduring presence in festivals and theatrical rituals, where people don menacing Oni masks and enact scenes of scaring away evil, highlights their enduring role as potent symbols of chaos and the darker, destructive aspects of human nature. The specificity of their physical descriptions, their iconic weaponry, and their prominent role in countless folktales, proverbs, and artistic representations cemented their terrifying image in the Japanese psyche, ensuring their widespread recognition and enduring fame. Textual evidence comes from ancient chronicles like the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, vast bodies of folktales such as those collected in the Konjaku Monogatari issue, and Buddhist texts depicting the torments of Jigoku where Oni act as wardens. Cultural and artistic evidence is abundant in Oni masks used in theatrical traditions like No and Kyogen, statues on temples serving as guardians or demon figures, and countless woodblock prints, ukiyo-e, and paintings from various periods, cementing their visual and narrative impact on Japanese culture. The figure of Lilith, found in various Jewish and Mesopotamian traditions, is a complex and often contradictory entity, but historically recognized for her malevolent aspects. Her fame stems from her unique and controversial origin story, which positions her as a figure of powerful female rebellion and dangerous independence. Her origins are traced back to Sumerian and Akkadian mythology, where she appears as a Lilitu or Ardot-Lily, a type of wind demon or night spirit associated with disease and storms, believed to prey on children and men. Her transition into Jewish folklore, particularly in medieval midrashic and Kabbalistic texts like the Alphabet of Ben Sira, circa 8th-10th century CE, catapulted her to greater prominence. This legend depicts her as Adam's first wife, created from the same dust as him, who fled Eden rather than be subservient to him and God, demanding equality. This makes her a unique figure of female autonomy, albeit a dangerous and defiant one. After her flight, she refused to return despite divine intervention, instead becoming a demoness who preys on men in their sleep, seducing them and causing nocturnal emissions, from which she was said to birth countless demonic offspring. She was also believed to attack newborns, particularly boys, often associated with sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, and to cause harm to women during childbirth. Her seductive beauty was often portrayed as a deceptive trap, leading mortals to sin, spiritual corruption, and self-destruction. Amulets bearing the names of angels, particularly the three angels Senoi, Sansonoi, and Samanjalof, were widely used to protect infants from her grasp, often hung above cradles. Her lore and dangerous independence make her a unique and historically potent figure embodying both female rebellion and destructive sexuality. Her power lay not just in direct physical harm, but in her ability to corrupt, to sow discontent, and to embody forbidden desires and the anxieties surrounding them. Lilith embodies not just physical danger to infants and men, but also the societal anxieties around female sexuality, independence, and the perceived threats they pose to patriarchal order and family sanctity. This subversive narrative, combined with her ancient roots as a child killer and seductress, ensured her enduring infamy and a complex legacy that continues to resonate in feminist and modern occult interpretations. Mesopotamian incantation texts such as those found at Nippur, and Jewish Talmudic, for example, Tractate Nida 24b, Midrashic, for example, Midrash Alpha Beta Debin Sira, and Kabbalistic literature, for example, the Zohar, provide detailed textual accounts of her ancient and evolving myths. Archaeological evidence includes numerous Jewish incantation bowls from the Sasanian period, 3rd–7th centuries CE, explicitly invoking Lilith to ward her off through inscribed spells, and some protective amulets depicting her or invoking angelic names. Finally, while often associated with Western occultism rather than widespread historical folk belief in the same way as other demons, Mephistopheles gained immense prominence through German folklore, particularly in the enduring Faust legend. His fame is almost entirely literary, originating not from ancient religious texts or widespread oral traditions, but from the German Faustbuch chapbooks of the late 16th century, which popularized the tale of a scholar who made a pact with the devil. He achieved his iconic status and renown through Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus, circa 1592, and, most significantly, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's monumental Faust, Part 1 1808, Part 2 1832. In these seminal works, Mephistopheles becomes the archetypal sophisticated demon, the ultimate tempter. Unlike raw, primal evil, Mephistopheles is a cunning, intellectual, and manipulative demon who understands human desires and weaknesses with chilling precision. He doesn't coerce through brute force, he persuades, offering tempting promises of unlimited knowledge, power, pleasure, and youth in exchange for the soul. His intellectual arrogance, sardonic wit, and cynical disdain for humanity make him a chilling adversary, as he constantly challenges Faust's morality, spiritual integrity, and very understanding of existence. He is often depicted as a well-dressed, intelligent, and articulate figure, far removed from the monstrous, bestial images of other demons, which makes his insidious influence all the more effective and seductive. He represents the dangers of unchecked ambition, the seductive nature of worldly temptations, and the potential for humanity to damn itself through its own flawed choices and desires. Mephistopheles embodies the evil that arises not primarily from an external, monstrous force, but from within the human heart, exploited and magnified by a master manipulator. His literary genesis and subsequent widespread popularity in literature, opera, like Charles Gounod's Faust and Arrigo Boito's Mephistopheles, and art cemented his fame as the ultimate purveyor of the deal with the devil, a cautionary tale about the perils of ambition and the cost of selling one's soul. Textual evidence primarily comes from the anonymous German Faustbuch chapbooks, for example, Historia von D. Johann Feuchten, Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus, and most significantly, Goethe's Faust, which immortalized the character and his profound philosophical implications on the human condition. The widespread popularity of the Faust story in diverse artistic mediums, including musical compositions, theatrical adaptations, and visual art across centuries, serves as strong cultural evidence of his enduring impact. In their collective horror, these spirits paint a vivid tapestry of human fear, morality, and the constant struggle against the forces of darkness, both external and internal. They are the monstrous reflections of our deepest anxieties about death, suffering, chaos, and the corruption of the soul. These narratives of evil, woven into the very fabric of human history, continue to shape our understanding of good versus evil and the enduring struggle for the human spirit.